Have you pooped today? What the fuck? What kind of date is this? Hello, and how are you doing today? I hope that you are doing very, very well. Happy Halloween! So, I thought for Halloween week we would share some MLM horror stories. Let's get right into the cringe. These videos are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do not send anyone shown in the video any kind of hate. Thank you. Happy Halloween. I got approached at a university employment fair by a guy who said he was interested in involving my skills in his new business. And he would love it if I would go to a random hotel a few miles away to watch the announcement speech. Yeah, you can see where this is going. But I was a graduate desperate for a job. Many of us are. I was picked up from my house by 3 strangers. Ooh, all of which were from different countries and had different career paths to my own. Big red flag. Went to the hotel. There was a massive Amway conference. Probably an annual general meeting or something. I just made the mental note to eat all their free food and not sign up to anything. The atmosphere and speeches were weird, like they were channeling a fire and brimstone super church, only their god was money. At the end, I saw the guy who originally invited me, and he wanted me to sign up. I refused, but said I'd think about it. And he forced a catalog into my hands and asked me to read through it. When I later answered one of his phone calls and said I wasn't interested, he asked for his book back. That is weird. Saying they were worth 30 pounds. Oops. I burnt it on a bonfire. And then my house set on fire. No, I'm just joking. That's not how it ends. Story number 2. An employee at the grocery store I go to, who I didn't know beyond recognizing them from the store and had never had a conversation with, randomly approached me in the parking lot as I was loading up my bags. She didn't say hi or introduce herself or anything. Just right off the bat started talking about how she had started working for It Works. For people unfamiliar, it's that wrap thing that you wear and is supposed to make you lose weight. The crazy wrap thing. And she was building her sales team. She spent like 5 solid minutes giving me this rambly, awkward sales pitch. This company is amazing and they make great products, just really great, and they really work. This is a fantastic opportunity and you could make $5,000 extra a month without really doing anything but posting about it online. And who can't use extra money, right? She then told me her name and told me if I was interested to look her up on Facebook and check it out. I nodded, thanked her, and left with zero intention of checking anything out because the whole thing screamed scam the second she started talking, though that was the end of it, except dun dun dun. Somehow, she found out my name and found me on Facebook. Apparently, we have a friend or 2 in common. And she sent me a friend request. And she messaged me with more crap about It Works. I ignored it. It's what you do. The next time I went grocery shopping, she approached me again. In the store this time. And she told me she'd sent me the friend request and really would like to have me involved with her sales team. Because I'm like so cool. I made some excuse about how I never got on Facebook anymore and never saw the request or the message, then started questioning me about whether I had any friends who might be interested instead. If you're not interested, what about your friends? What about your friends? What about your friends' friends, and your friends, and their families too? I said, I didn't think so. No. And she's like, well, if you could just get on Facebook and add me, I can go through your friends list and get some names from there to invite on. And I, feeling awkward as fuck, just nodded and fucked up and said, I'd do that. I'll do that. That was a month ago. I haven't accepted any friend request, and I've been actively dodging her every time I go grocery shopping. She'll bug me forever. This one we call Date Fished from Hell. So, I think the absolute worst date of my life, if you can call it that, was a setup to get me to join his MLM. I met this guy, we will call John, at a pool party in Phoenix. I had just moved from Denver and mentioned that I was going to hike one of the major trails in Phoenix the next day, and he invited himself along. A little weird, but it's a popular trail, so I wasn't worried about my safety, and I wasn't good at saying no. Get good at it, sweetie. He picks me up the next morning. I know, bad idea. And he is drinking a bottled Starbucks Frappuccino. Those are delicious, but you really should not be drinking super sugary dairy-based drinks before a hike. Makes your tummy ill. I asked if he had breakfast, and he said that was his breakfast. I asked him if he brought any snacks or water, and he proudly shows me the other 2 bottled Frappuccinos that he bought. And I should have stopped this date then, but I just rolled with it. We start hiking, and he tells me that he likes to read, so I ask him if he has read a few of my favorite books. He had not read any of them and proceeded to get mad at me for asking because he had not gone to school in America, so of course he had not read them. None of these were books I read in school, though. So we just walk in silence. It's already going well. A quarter of the way up the trail, he starts throwing up because, of course, bottled Frappuccinos are not good for hiking in the heat. Hell no. I give him some of my water and dried dates to help settle his stomach. He doesn't say thank you and complains that the dates are chewy. They're too chewy. We get 3/4 of the way up to the top of the mountain and he is looking rough, so I ask if he wants to go back down. Now he starts making fun of me for being lazy. What kind of date is this? And I am tempted to just leave him on the trail, but he is my ride, so I can't. Take a cab. We make it to the top and he starts loudly complaining because he thought that there would be a pool or a restaurant at the top of the mountain. Like, congratulations for reaching the top. Here is a 5-star restaurant for you to dine at before you make it down to the bottom. And here's $5 million. And what kind of person does all that work just to see some crappy view anyway, he says. Everyone on the peak is staring at us while he makes a scene. What kind of date is this? At this point, I was praying the ground would just open and swallow me. Take me into hell now. We finally make it back down the mountain and part ways. It was such a disaster. I never expected to hear from him again. Against all odds, he texts me 2 days later to grab a coffee. I'm a huge pushover, so I say yes. Fix that. He then says a friend is going to come and will give a 30 to 45 minute presentation about a job opportunity. What kind of date is this? This is finally too far, and I tell him no, and he proceeds to try to guilt me into it, so I block him. Anti-MLM community, saving people from bad dates since 2016. I have no clue when our community started, forgive me. Was it just an elaborate scheme to try to get me to join his MLM? Was it a date? What kind of date is this? Was it both? I don't know. I would love to hear anyone else's stories because I cannot be the only one that something like this happened to. My favorite response. I think he was just a tool who knew the relationship wasn't going anywhere after the bad date, so he figured why not pitch his pyramid scheme. Either way, big cringe. What kind of date is this? I mean, he did take a frappuccino on a hike, so you had to have known that his intelligence level, the most bizarre MLM pitch in the world. I was sitting at a bar by myself, which I never do, probably as a subconscious defense mechanism to avoid situations like the one I'm about to tell you about. Fairly attractive girl comes and sits down next to me and says the following. Have you pooped today? Sure. Just once? Yeah, once I think. Did it sink or did it float? Probably sank. That's good. It means you're not eating fatty foods. You know, I really think people should talk more about pooping. I mean, everyone does it, right? Am I making you uncomfortable? Little bit. Okay, nice talking to you. The bartender who heard the whole conversation moused to me. What the fuck? Now you're probably thinking nothing could be more off-putting than a conversation with a random stranger about defecating. But you'd be wrong. I later found out it was a lead-in pitch for an MLM to sell shakes that make people poop more. Or less. I really don't know or care. Let's hope I never see that person again at the bar. And if I do, it's not in the bathroom. The feeling it's to make you poop more. What the fuck? I hope that you enjoyed going through the MLM horror stories with me. Please do give the video a like, subscribe, and follow me on everything. Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok. I have it all. It's scary. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous night. And a happy Halloween. Happy Halloween.